there was also a pull there and a need to talk about the beauty and fragility of that particular part of the world. And in many ways, they kind of balanced out, the power and the strength of the lion against the beauty and the expansiveness of the African Serengeti. The mouse, small, somewhat fragile, almost in a way that needs to be protected. And I began to think about that in relationship to the images. So you find spreads that do speak to the vastness of the Serengeti. But I want you to also remember that it's also fragile and it needs to be taken care of. I think clearly this spread of this of the range of wildlife, and also what I wanted to talk about was this, the scale of the Serengeti and a sense of harmony. Here we see all the animals grazing together, and that was important to me because I think the book does speak, and that's another part of the story, the moral. In order to do that, I wanted to, in a sense, bounce off this sense of vastness with this personal involvement, the reader, with the central characters. This is probably where it became most challenging because I wanted them to be anthropomorphic, but in a way that suggested the true nature and the true character of the lion, and the true nature and the true character of the mouse. And in doing so, I had to straddle a fence between making them respond in a kind of a natural way, but the reader to understand what they were responding to. And the process was simply drawing it over and over again. Very oftentimes I would just stand in front of a mirror and sort of act out expressions which I thought conveyed what the animals were thinking at the time. And it was the challenge of that. It was also part of this book that was also the fun aspect of it, because once you arrive at your characters, in a sense, speaking what you want them to be speaking in terms of relating to the reader, it's almost a surprise. I mean, one of the things that this book afforded me that other books didn't was this sense of discovery, that the process itself of making these images was also my own sense of discovering what I thought the story was trying to say. It was this sense of curiosity and surprise when that lion spoke in a particular way that made me believe he was, in a way, acting out or speaking what he was experiencing at the time. And you almost have to, as an artist, inhabit that animal, that creature which you have created, and you become one.